these guys at PTR Radio just look at these basement dwellers. Two fat guys, and someone thinks he's a freaking monkey. The end is near, folks.
And now back to just a great podcast. I mean, really great bunch of guys, just the biggest and best stars on the podcast scene.
And now back to PTR Radio with Mike the Ape Man, Shaggy, and Colin. These three guys should really come with a warning label, maybe like for rectal use only. Feel my body, drink my
wine. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of PTR Radio here on the fabulous interweb. So, you know, even though we may have had a touch of a political intro there.
I was like, after her planning just then, that's the intro you picked.
Yeah. I want to say, you know, in general, that's how we normally handle politics, is we laugh at it. Today, that is not the case. We are simply going to put out the statement that, you know, violence has no place in politics or really anywhere else. We abhor violence no matter where. So, you know, we will not be
in the UFC octagon.
Yes, in the UFC octagon, maybe pools of Jello, you know, places like that. You know, typically we're all for that. You know, anywhere Logan Paul is, that's okay. But you know, otherwise, no, we don't promote violence anywhere. So, you know, that's all we're going to say about the political nature of today's world. So other than that, you get the next 59 minutes, a little respite from the left and the right talk, unless you're looking at the screen. And then you have left, right, you know, bottom, top. You get that talk, but that's it. No political sides here. So, you know, but yes, welcome to PTR Radio, where we traditionally, the question I get most often when I say is, I have a podcast. What do you talk about? Well, here, we talk about a little bit of everything, but mostly it's TV and movies. However, today we do have to talk about a possible upcoming breakup. You know, because a policy change, which I was just made aware of a little bit this afternoon, has forced us to stop talking to one of our outlets, one of our distribution outlets. We can no longer stream our show with our ex. Our ex has said, nope, sorry. X is now a prostitute, and if you want to spend time on her, you have to pay. And as we all know, we don't get paid for this.
No, so we can still post, we can't stream live.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. We can still post, although they admit in their pricing, our posts won't get seen. If you want your post to get seen at all, you still have to pay. I just looked up at their pricing plans. Have you had a chance to take a look at this, Mike?
No, I didn't even know about this. What?
Yes, their pricing plans is pretty ridiculous if you look at it. So if you, I'll bring it up here on the screen so that everybody can see it. Oops, wrong screen though. So let me move a few things around here. Welcome to McDonald's. So if we, let's see here, layers 8. Thank you. Oh, wrong. What the hell? I want 8. There we go. Okay. So if you want to do anything, basic, which gives you a small reply boost and highlight on the highlights tab, $267 a month. So almost $36 a year. Okay. But if you want to, stream only see half of the ads. A larger reply boost, supposedly get paid to post, but not really. Get your check mark. So now they actually are saying we're going to charge for check marks. Whatever Grok early access is.
That's their AI.
Okay. Their analytics, their media studio, and their creator subscriptions, $7 a month if you pay annually. And if you don't want any ads and you want the biggest reply boost and you want, evidently, write articles, whatever that actually means, then that is going to cost you $14 a month. So X has officially gone corporate.
Yeah,
So it really could make us break up with our ex. Realistically.
So here's the thing about.
go ahead.
I remember a decade ago, when Twitter actually was important. There were news stories about, there were countries that were under like martial law and terrible things were happening, and the only way that people could talk to each other was Twitter, because Twitter just could not be stopped.
Yeah.
And they, back then, Twitter was important, and it had this place where you could go and, as a computer programmer, that's where I would go, and everybody else was there, and you could throw out, "Hey, I'm trying to do this," and get people who actually were working at Microsoft to tell you how to fix it, because that's where everybody was.
So to give you an idea, so they have been tracking the Twitter population since 2008. Okay. In 2022, they had flat growth. Okay. In 2023, they had a decline of 3.9%. Approximately 353 million users is what they ended up with at the end of that drop. They are anticipating another loss of 32 million users during 2024. I don't know what percentage that works out to be, but maybe 10%, something like that. So, the user base on Twitter is rapidly falling. And the question is, are they going to anything? Are they going to anything? Because I don't think Threads is the answer.
Let me tell you something about Threads, all right? Threads is just a bunch of people posting up clickbait for no damn reason, and you thought the opinions were bad on Twitter? Oh
Yeah.
my God, Threads is the safe space of the internet, for God's sakes. Like, you can't post anything there without somebody jumping down your throat that you're insensitive or whatever, if you've got followers. I mean, I don't have followers on Threads, so I post up stuff and nobody knows, nobody gives a damn.
Yeah.
I replied to stuff, and so I replied to somebody. There was somehow a colonoscopy thread popped up about somebody talking about the prep.
That ended up on your algorithm somehow? Wow. Look at you.
No lie. So it pops up, and they said, why is there no alternative to this godforsaken liquid? I said, there is. It's pills.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you must be fortunate enough to have insurance and be able to afford the pills because insurance doesn't cover them. Well, no. Okay, I did have to pay for them out of pocket, and my insurance did not cover them. It was still worth it. Oh, well, lucky for you that you have a job and can afford it. Well, wait a minute. If you don't have a job, how are you getting a colonoscopy? Because you're obviously not paying for it.
Yeah.
So, it's like that's the kind of trap that gets set for on Threads, no matter what you reply to.
Yeah.
And so you're paying for an $11,000 procedure, but not being able to pay for a couple pills is the difference. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, really.
It is getting to the point where it's like, okay, the only thing that's going to be posted is advertisements because everybody's paralyzed to say anything on a personal nature for fear of attack. So that's like, I have a LinkedIn account. Well, I post motivational messages mostly, or status updates on the project I'm on. I run everything through a polarization like filter in my mind of, okay, is this 100% right down the middle? Can this be taken any way sideways at all? Could this possibly be seen as offensive any way, shape, or form? There are even like idioms that I don't use anymore because of that.
You cannot say the sky is blue without somebody saying, lucky that you can see colors. You don't have the, like, that's how bad it's getting.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm not trying to make fun of you if you're colorblind. Yes, okay, fine. I feel bad for you. But like you said, if I'm going to worry about offending somebody with every little thing I say, I'm never going to speak.
Yeah.
Period.
I think we talked about it once on the show before. There are two common idioms I don't use anymore. I don't use, and I'm just going to say them for explanatory purposes. I don't use enough rope to hang themselves anymore in any business situation. Even though it has nothing to do with what people assume it has to do with. I checked the etymology of that saying, and it doesn't have anything to do with that. And also, I don't use, there's a chink in the armor. I don't use that one either. I have caught myself and run myself through the PC police, even though if you look at the etymology of those, there is nothing offensive about either one of those things, but people will take it as offensive. So I have to run myself through this logic every single time.
Yeah. Although, we have had things happen to us, Shaggy, in the past.
Well, yeah.
That obviously okay. I was not directly involved.
Yeah,
and
nor was I.
Yes. And looking as the people who are on the first floor, looking at what the people on the second floor were doing, you look at it and you say, why did you ever think that was a good idea? Why are you surprised that somebody got mad about it? And so to some degree, when you're at that level of something, you're like, yeah, that's obviously you messed up.
It was Halloween and somebody had a skeleton and they hung it by a noose and up in their work area for Halloween. And I don't know that the skeleton and the noose was the biggest problem, but then they went and put a sign on it, and because they were web developers up there, and they said, when good web monkeys go bad. And that was enough for a tipping point for the African-American janitor to take great offense to it.
Which I agree with.
Which us on the first floor, we're removed from it enough where we go, wow. Not in like dismay that the janitor found offense to it, but wow, we wouldn't have even thought to go that far. I think we would have put a skeleton up, yes. We would have stopped at the noose.
No, we would stop at the skeleton.
Yeah.
We would not have put a noose
no,
on
I'm going to say we would have held back at the.
I know. I'm making it clear. We would have stopped at the skeleton. We would possibly have the skeleton up. We would definitely not put a noose up there, and definitely not put a sign on it calling the monkey of any type.
Yeah. So
now, this touches on an interesting subject because lately it seems that my nom de plume here of Ape Man is now becomes a racial slur.
Yeah, I
like.
Well, you
I'm
remember,
not allowed, I couldn't register for my NHL bracket with the name Ape Man because it said offensive names are not. Whoa.
Well, remember
I'm sorry here. So is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes aimed at a specific demographic that I'm not aware of? Like,
Well, I don't know that Spike Lee directed it, but it could.
I get the slur. Like, okay, I get the whole monkey part, right? Because the racial slur of porch monkey. So I get it, and I'm saying it because I understand. I can relate. I get okay, but apes are different. We are hairless apes. We humans are hairless apes. Isn't there a book, like a famous philosophy book called The Hairless Ape or something?
Here you go, Mike. You should register Pithecanthropus. It's Latin.
Yeah, because that rolls off the tongue.
For ape man. It's the scientific name for ape man. See if they catch that.
I am Mike Pithecanthropus. No, it doesn't. It don't work.
I know, but I'm just maybe. Have you tried Homo erectus? Maybe that would work.
No, because that takes two terms that could be easily be misinterpreted by a whole other group.
True.
And I'm not going there either.
I bet you couldn't do Neanderthal either. Neanderthal man is probably, and don't get me wrong, folks. We're not putting down anyone who feels offended by any way, shape, or form. We're just voicing frustration at the fact of we don't understand some of them.
At the risk of opening myself up to ridicule here, like I kind of feel like my nickname, like now I know how the company that used to make that diet product called AIDS felt.
Yes,
because they named the disease. Like I had the nickname before somebody decided to be offended by it.
Yeah.
Because if it was offensive, I don't think they would have given me the nickname. Or I would have caught on to it and been like, no, stop calling me that.
Yeah. It. Yeah.
It's very, very, very disturbing.
Yeah. No, I agree. So it's just. Yeah, it is. It is disturbing at some degree. And I was trying to find other examples of that, but I can't easily.
No, don't. You'll wind up on a list somewhere.
I know.
So
don't. all I
for things on the internet is so dangerous.
I know. I wanted to find like products like AIDS candy that had to change their name, but all I can find is like Aunt Jemima and other things like that had to change their name because of that. And I'm like, that is not a good example. So that's not the same.
Aunt Jemima, didn't Uncle Ben
change their name? Yeah. So
I'm surprised that the Gorton's Fisherman hasn't been replaced yet.
What the hell? Big Boy Restaurants changed their name. Cheer Cheese.
Yeah, to out of business.
Yeah.
Well, there's been lots of big boys, so because there was no actual big boy company.
Oh.
Because it kind of got side franchised many times.
Oh, Dreyer's Ice Cream is rebranding their Eskimo pie.
I thought I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. What? Land O'Lakes? Land O'Lakes.
Remember when a certain group tried to make us believe that Cracker Barrel was a racist restaurant?
Yeah.
Despite many articles and much evidence to the contrary, where it came from.
Yeah.
I had to take a mandatory training class, and by mandatory, not meaning I did something wrong, meaning everybody has to take it. It was like a leadership type class, right?
I had to take
those old school
2.
All right, so because you were a supervisor, so you have a different perspective as well. Mm-hmm. This was supposed to be a development type course for, they say leadership, but I don't lead anybody, so I'm just going to say it's basically being an example, a role model employee, if you will. And we had a conversation that there's a fine line between being sensitive to the audience and making sure you're not saying something that's going to offend them, and knowing that whatever you say to this audience, they will be offended.
We had to,
And-
my training also touched on microaggressions and unconscious
started on-
microaggressions. And I'm like,
I remember
Okay,
that one.
I'm about to say something that is going to offend some people. All right, this stupid Aldi Isle of Shame group on Facebook. All right, I post up something about a rug and telling them how my wife bought this core mat, COIR mat, and said stain, and I told the wife, you are never to buy one of these again. Oh, well, that's a microaggression. I hope you hear it in your voice. Shut up. She is the wife because she's my wife. Therefore, she is the only wife in my universe. So shut up.
I believe we've had a similar discussion internally. Well, not necessarily internally, but with a few family members. About
I think
similar.
Mama Blair gets mad about the whole the wife thing too. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in the middle of the store looking for it. I'm like, hey, the wife. Mama Blair also wrote in and said Sambo's restaurant changed their name to Denny's. I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, Shaggy, I remember that particular test that we took, that class thing. And I was looking at it going, in some states, this is not just, when they would not give, this would be actively against the law for this particular class to be given to anybody, not just within the state.
Yes, but we're not talking politics.
We're not going to talk to content.
Yeah. So,
We're not going to talk to content. Just saying that
Yeah.
there was a that particular test. Thinking,
hey,
wow.
Speaking of annoying people, did you guys see the that there's a movie coming out for that little twerp Ryan that reviews kids' toys? I put it on the white sheet. That kid whose parents got rich by getting companies to send them toys for him to unbox and amass this ridiculous, following of other children who watched him just unbox and play with toys, and then eventually they made their own toys and charged way too much for it. He has a movie coming out now.
You got to be kidding me. Who is? Wait a minute.
Ryan's World, the
Let's see who
movie,
distributor is.
Titan Universe Adventure, coming out in 2024. It's an animation action comedy.
Of course, that's got to be on.
After you saying that though, because for a second there I was like, oh, you mean they're going to remake the toy?
No.
So the production companies are Pocket Watch and Sunlight Entertainment. I've never heard of either of these.
You want to know how much this kid's worth?
No, I do not, because I didn't have Looking for the Gas Pipe on my agenda for this show.
He's 11 years old now. He's been doing it since 2015. $100 million.
That's a lie. That is a flat out lie.
Wait.
No.
But is that from one of those sites that tells you how much people are making on YouTube?
It's from
Or is that an actual number?
capitalism.com.
This
Okay,
is
that's
as
correct.
bad as Bad Baby coming
But it
out
also-
saying that she made $57 million from OnlyFans. I'm sorry. I'm not quite going to believe this.
It also is the same number on celebritynetworth.com.
Yeah. Awesome. So one of the YouTube guys, I forget who it was because that one I looked, but he said he looked it up. He said, "Look one of those things where it says how much money he's supposed to have." He's like, "Wow, why am I living here if I have this much money?" Because it's like, yeah, don't know where those sites are coming up with their numbers, but yeah, that particular guy was supposed to have I think it was like $7 million. He's like, I'm not sure I have $7,000 at the moment, but if I'm supposed to have $7 million, where is it? Let me know.
Well, it says Taylor Swift and Mr. Beast are both worth $1 billion. So,
But okay, Taylor Swift is known. I mean, that's the actual number.
And John Cena's worth $80 million. That's not hard to believe. So, All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We're talking real celebrities. There's probably real numbers, but those sites trying to come up with YouTube celebrities, how much they're worth, they're usually useless numbers. They have nothing to do with reality.
could be.
Maybe it's how much money Google's made off of them.
I don't know. All right. Let's see here. Other movies that are coming out. I put a couple of remakes that are going to be coming out that I don't. Well, one of them I don't believe should have been made, but it's coming out anyway. And I don't know that we talked about it. Did we talk about that they remade The Crow, as in like the original? Yes. It's not another sequel.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we acknowledged it was coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about it on the show, but I reserve judgment until I see it, because I believe this is closer to the original dark theme, or it's darker than the original. I've seen diehard fans say that this version of The Crow is more true to the actual graphic novels or stories. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know anything about The Crow, but if there's original IP there, then I think giving fans of the original IP a second chance at a movie of their stuff is fine. If The Crow was an original movie that he died on, that's a different thing. But if it's
agree.
Yeah.
Okay. And then here's one I don't believe we talked about it. Did we talk about the Naked Gun reboot?
Yeah, I think we did last time. I seem to remember that.
It's funny because this was on this past week or Sunday. Was it Sunday or Saturday night? One of the two. I was watching like a marathon on like AMC. I think did a marathon of the Naked Gun.
I've been trying to find the Police Squad, the series. So
I do not.
Oh, yeah, that's easy.
I do not think that this is one, like, a lot of the jokes are jokes that would not fly. This falls into like Airplane, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, how are you going to reboot this and still keep the same type of comedy that you had?
Well, not only that, but the slapstick sight gag, type stuff, it doesn't fall the same nowadays. It was a little bit different back in the late 80s, early 90s than what it is today. I mean, comedy is kind of ruined. Different.
Yeah. It was kind of ruined in the aughts, I think is what it was. When there was a whole bunch of them that just kept landing from...
It was killed by the not another movies. That's what it was killed by.
But yes.
Yeah, that and Scary Movie, Scary Movie 2.
Yeah.
And those type parodies. Yeah, I agree. The other... Yeah, this is one that I just don't feel should be touched.
No, I don't.
And you can't keep going over the same thing. The jokes were already made.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... like Airplane, Naked Gun, those are basically like 2-hour dad joke movies when you think about it, right? It's all puns or slapstick. All right, you're not.
It was a little bit.
You're really going to get somebody like Barbara Billingsley coming in and say, "Excuse me, I speak jive." No, that you can't do that.
And it was a little bit different when they did like Get Smart with Steve Carell. That's a little bit, I could say that, all right, you could do that again, or you could do another sequel to that because those jokes land a little bit differently. It's the dumb guy, but it's the fool, but not the over fool. So, it's a little bit different.
Okay.
The problem is that so many of them lost plot. You have to have plot still.
Yeah. So Mama Blair wrote in and said, we started streaming The Bear on Hulu. I can't watch the character Richie without thinking of Mike, meaning me. Sometimes resemblance, sometimes actions. Now, I have seen this guy in something, and I don't. I'm flattered. Thank you. I've never seen The Bear. Now I'm going to have to go watch it.
The Bear. Is she talking? Which bear is she talking about? The 1988
It's the,
movie?
no, it's
the TV show.
It's on.
Oh, okay.
It's a comedy drama about a restaurant. Basically, right?
Yeah, Chicago. Yep.
Okay. Richie Ebon Moss Backrack?
Yes.
Is he related to, the other Backrack? Burt Backrack.
Burt Bacharach. Maybe I remember him from No Hard Feelings. That might have been it. No, I know him from something else, I'm sure.
Wedding Days, maybe?
He did have an arc on The Last Ship, but I don't think I would remember him from that. I don't know. Now, it's one of those that keeps popping up, and I'm like, I really think I need to watch it. Now I'm going to have to watch it. So, it's not British, right? No, it takes place in Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, it keeps cleaning up all the Emmys. So.
Won't be fooled again on that one.
I've been I've been continuing my binge watch. Shows I've already seen or saw bits and pieces of during their original run. So we finished up watching Young Sheldon. So we watched all the way through that. That speared me to watch the Big Bang Theory again. So I'm through season 9 of that now. At the same time, though, I can't watch that without my wife because you can't, do that. If you're binge watching a show together, you can't watch ahead. That's just the way that it works. So separately, I'm watching Friends because I never watched it religiously when it was on the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and boy, it hits different nowadays. Some of it is just really dumb. So, but yeah. And some of it's wasn't this timeline of this storyline longer? One of the things I didn't realize was the storyline with Marcel the monkey. I thought that was a year long. No, it was 3 episodes and that's it. So I'm wow,
Monkey didn't last.
Monkey didn't last very long. Then it came back for 1 episode in the next season, and that's it. But I'm everybody, whenever you have a trivia question about, Friends, it's, what was the name of the monkey on Friends? It's one of those weird things. I'm it wasn't even a major part of it. And I know sometimes that's trivia, but still, it's just one of those. So, yeah, I'm...
When is the last time you watched news radio?
I never watched news radio. I never watched Frasier. I never watched, those shows I didn't watch. I never watched anything after the first season of The Good Place, which I know I should because I did like the first season.
Yeah, you should definitely rectify. Yes, that is probably one of the best shows ever made.
But,
Yeah. So it's worth trying to watch news radio just because it is such a weird show looking back at it. Because it was just at the cusp of the United States culture changing so much. When the show started, people still smoked at work.
And
there's episodes about that.
I thought one of the new kids was on there. So Dave Foley's in that. So
yes. Yes, that's Dave Foley's show.
That might get me to watch it, is because I have been on a kick a little bit about watching stuff that has, one of the kids in the hall. So
yeah, Dave Foley, Phil Hartman,
Andy Dick,
Dick,
which may make me not want to watch it. But
Well,
And
right,
what's his name who has
so-
the talk show now?
Oh,
Yeah.
Stephen Root was on it. Milton's on there.
Milton's
Joe
on
Rogan
there.
was on there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Who? All right,
Milton
hold
plays
on.
the boss.
Who? When Phil Hartman passed away, because he passed away while this was the show
Lovitz.
he was starring in, right? It was Lovitz.
Yes.
What was the show that? Oh, it was 8 Simple Rules. I think when he passed away, that David Spade came in. I think maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I think so. God, I saw a recommendation because we're gonna get to the movie review here in just a little bit, but I had also found a recommendation for a movie that, if I can find it, might be. We haven't picked the next movie yet, right?
No, but
I only noticed that I'm the one covering it. I think.
Okay.
yes, we decided off the air after the show after the last show that instead of just picking or somebody having to volunteer, we were going to go back to the random selection and go through a rotation of who was going to be.
Oh,
on
okay.
point.
Okay.
The
Well,
only exception to that is if it is an 80s late night up up all night Shaggy special that by default he will have to take point on.
Yes.
If it's a frat com, it's mine basically. So
Okay, fair enough.
that, so yeah, I gotta find this movie. There was a movie. I'm gonna add it to the list so that it's an option for us. It's called
Yeah.
Con Man, and it is about. It's not about like ripping people off. It's about like Comic Cons, and it was written by Alan Tudyk and stars him.
Interesting.
Yeah, and also stars Nathan Fillion. And
Okay,
evidently
this is not a
it's-
movie. This is a TV series.
Oh, was it? I thought it was. Okay, it's a TV series. All right, I thought it was a movie. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so it
It
won't make it on the
is-
list. But
It's like the new. Go ahead, because I just lost it.
all right, I'll have
It's
to
like
take a look.
it looks like it was only 25 episodes.
Yeah, it was.
And wow, there were a lot of people in this. Wow.
Yeah, it's like a who's who of like sci-fi guest appearances, and yeah, Felicia Day, Leslie Jordan, Henry Rollins, Lou Ferrigno. It was Casper Van Dien, who's one of our favorites. And yeah, it was pretty, pretty nifty. Evidently, I have not seen it, but I read somewhere about that, hey, if you like Resident Alien, check this out. And I have not watched Resident Alien either, but I watched the first episode and I'm like, this is weird.
Oh no, it gets so much better. But Alan Tudyk is a genius in this show, and the fact that it's moving to USA for this new season actually kind of scares me a little. I think they're going to have to tone it down or something. But then again, Rhonda Shear up all night, maybe not.
Maybe. What do you guys? I don't know if I ever asked this. What's your opinion of Time Bandits, the original?
I know why you're asking this question, and why are there no little people in the remake?
I just watched what was that? The interview that with Brad Williams? Is that it? No, Brad Williams just did an interview, and in one movie they didn't use little people; they used CGI to shrink people. He was complaining about that.
It was a Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs movie.
Yeah, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And his bit was really funny. He was doing an interview, and he goes, after that, Disney met with the, little people leadership, and he goes, who elected these people? I didn't get invited to a vote.
It made sense for The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. because they were not supposed to be dwarves. They were just regular proportioned men who were small, who were
Smaller.
tinier than usual. That was correct, and they had lots of actual Anyway, they had a very diverse cast, whether they were actually shown or not. But you can't do Snow White and the Seven Dwarves and then do the same thing and make them hobbits. I totally agreed with them.
Yeah.
But so anyway, the thing with Time Bandits is it's a TV show, so we can't put it on the list as our movie review.
Yeah.
But the trailer is out for it now, and I was thinking maybe we'll just go ahead. I didn't know what you guys' opinion was of the original movies, if you liked them or not.
I started to watch that movie and I got bored with it. But maybe it's just age.
So
because honestly, I also started to watch Barbarella last week. And because we talked about the remake of Barbarella last show. And you'd think that would be right up my alley. Because as a kid, I remember watching that and thinking, wow, this is a great movie. But I did not like that movie now. I got really bored really fast with that movie as an adult. So, and I went, wow, this is just an excuse for them to have Jane Fonda make a really, strongly rated R movie. So, and it was not great. But, so I don't know.
So, I have to ask the question here. Am I ignorant? So, Snow White, it's not that they did CGI and shrunk actor. They CGI'd the elves 100% because I don't see, as I'm looking through the cast on IMDb, I don't see any of the dwarfs' names.
Well, remember, this was not a Disney production.
It's Snow White and the Huntsman, I think. Wasn't it?
But wasn't Disney? Because I didn't remember them using the original Disney Seven Dwarfs animated dwarf names. So I haven't seen the movie, so I'm trying to remember. So I don't remember if they actually
the title card actually has Disney right above Snow White. So I'm confused.
No,
Rachel Ziegler, yeah.
It was, but I'm pretty sure it was Snow White and the Huntsman, which was Kristen Stewart, Chris Hemsworth, Charlize Theron, and here I think
there's been a couple different movies
1,
too.
2,
So I'm not
3,
sure which
4,
one's
5, 6, 7. I think the seven dwarves are not sleepy sneezy Doc. They're Moir, Gort, Neon, Dwar, Cole, Quart, and Gus. Which are all, that's the only thing that makes sense to me, honestly, because they're all one-word names. So, unless it's something different. But it's like Bob Hoskins, Ray Winstone, Nick Frost, Eddie Marsan, Toby Jones, Johnny Harris, Brian Gleason. I think I have that movie on DVD, so I will have to take a look at it.
So, all right. So, Time Bandits, great movie.
Okay.
I'm not sure
how
they're
going
to
watch the TV show, and I thought we'd at least talk about it, see if we liked it or not.
Yeah, it's kind of like Snowpiercer, right? It's like, okay, there was a movie about it. How do you turn this into a long-running TV show?
Oh, Time Bandits, you could probably very easily turn that into a long-running TV show. Because it was a very episodic movie.
Yeah. So, all right. But for now, we need to get into our movie review. And for this week, we watched the newly released, actually, film Axel F, which just came out on Netflix on July 3rd. So maybe you have, maybe you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, go ahead and tell us what you thought of it in one of our messaging platforms, and Mike will read it out once we get done going through ours. But, and I think, was I taking lead on this one?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think so.
So Axel F is, it's the fourth installment in the Beverly Hills Cop saga, but really, I think a lot of people ignore the third one. So, it'll be fine if you do. If you've only seen the one and two, you're not going to miss anything by not seeing the third one and jumping straight into this. Honestly, if you've only seen the first one and you jump into this, or you haven't seen any of them, it'll be fine too. There may be some characters that you don't notice, but it'll be fine. Really, as long as you know Surge from the second one, you'll be just fine. He's the only real character of super note that they recycle. And I love Bronson Pinchot in this, although he is a little bit unrecognizable as much as he has changed. I mean, he's recognizable, but you know what I mean. He has changed a little bit. But this is a story of Axel Foley, who is brought back to Beverly Hills to investigate really two things. One, the disappearance of Judge Reinhold, Billy Rosewood's character, and also the endangerment of what we learned to be his daughter, Jane, played by Tyler Page. So, one, it's cool. We get to learn that he has a daughter in this. We never really learn about the mom that much, other than that they split up because, surprise, surprise, similar to Die Hard, Eddie Murphy's character prioritized being a cop over being, a father. So we do learn that was really more because there was a gang that was after him than anything else, but whatever. We also get to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who plays former love interest of Jane Saunders, a.k.a. the daughter of Eddie Murphy's character. And, really, those four encompass most of the movie, okay? Those are the four, really, Axel, Detective Bobby Abbott, Jane Saunders. Those are the three you're going to see most of the time. You will see a lot of Billy Rosewood. And then there's, I would say, really a cameo by John Ashton, who you would know from previous ones, who played John Taggart. He's now the police chief. And for those of you who are Paul Reiser fans and remember him from both of the originals, you will see him as a deputy chief now in Detroit. One thing I noticed while watching this movie is, does Kevin Bacon take any role now other than Dirty Cop? Because in the last few movies where he has played a cop, he has played the dirtiest of cops. R.I.P.D., Dirty Cop. Axel F., Dirty Cop. Is he now typecast as extremely dirty cop?
Or are those just the only two things you've watched recently that hasn't been? I mean, he was in.
He's always a troublemaker. He's always a troublemaker. Footloose, troublemaker, disturbing the town. Invisible Man, bad troublemaker, killed people. Tremors, bad guy, killed the graboids. Graboids just want to live. Kevin Bacon's just a bad guy in every movie. So, that's all he is. So, but very interesting. This is a great revisit of the Beverly Hills Cop franchise, I think. You'll find reviews out there that say this is a bad movie. This is not, worthy of the Beverly Hills Cop theme. I honestly think that this was a very worthy successor, and they may have done it a little bit of a disservice not releasing it in theaters. They may have done pretty well releasing this out in the theaters, just simply because I think they may have gotten some additional play to audiences that don't do online streaming. So this is a case where maybe they should have done both, a simul distribution or something like that. Overall, I don't think Eddie Murphy lost any chops. You could tell he slipped right back into the character very well, and I think the added complexity of the daughter, the new character with Joseph Gordon-Levitt worked well. I liked seeing Billy Rosewood brought back in the capacity that he was. Overall, I thought it was actually a really good movie. I'm going to give this one a SHG for me because it was really good, and I can see myself watching it again, and that's always a good hallmark for a high rating for me. So, Colin, you want to go next?
Yeah, SEG, not
SEG.
SHG. SHG is a school,
Yeah.
which
SEG. Sorry.
is here in Springfield. Um, so first off, I discover the name is stupid because naming the movie after the theme song, which they barely use that much, didn't make any. If the plot had something to do with music or something, where it would make sense to have Axel F be the name of the movie. Anyway, small thing, just saying, waste of a perfectly good name. Uh, the movie's not big enough to have gone into theaters as a full, but I think the plot and the people who are in the movie definitely were good enough for a movie that it's in movie theaters. They just needed to take the extra money they would have had and pump up the size of the movie a bit. Um, I think the plot was great. I think the story was great. I think it it did the number one thing that a sequel or a fourpole anyway has to do, which is it has to prove that it has a reason to exist. And I think it added extra levels of story and character to Axel Foley. I think it gave us the chance to see how everybody is after all these years have gone by. And I think you come out of this going, that was a fun time. I'm glad to have seen all those characters again. Um, I believe, to me, yes, it's the SEG. I think it's a perfectly good, great movie, and I enjoyed watching it immensely.
All right, Mike.
All right, so Colin gave it the SCG too. Well, shit. All right, so I had a little bit of a WTF moment during the opening credits because it mentioned Don Simpson, and he died in '86. But I guess any of the movies that Simpson and Bruckheimer started the franchise together, like this one, they still put Don's name in any sequel, which I thought that was kind of cool. Watching, and I really don't have too much commentary until we get to the scene where Axel's getting pepper sprayed by the meter maid with the equivalent of a dozen doses. He continues driving, and then there's not even a bit of redness in his eyes. That means that Axel Foley is officially the toughest bastard that I know. I want to know when in the hell Axel had a daughter and who is the mom. This is part. Okay, well, we're going to circle back to this one. Where, when traveling, does someone rent a 1980s Ford Bronco in barely acceptable shape? I need to know this because I travel a lot. I'm glad that Foley said this is nothing like Buffalo Wild Wings when I walked into the bar, because if it was, I have questions. Many questions. Here's a shocker when you find out who the bad guy is. You guys already said it, all right? So why does he always turn out to be the bad guy? The last time he wasn't the bad guy was in The Happening, but he kind of was obsessed with the bad guy. Anyway. After all of this time, it took 4 movies, but we finally get to see Maureen. And we know why he aged so much. The whole helicopter sequence. This is damn near about the dumbest sequence ever in a goddamn movie we've watched, okay? Even dumber than Jackie Chan driving with a tiger. Even dumber than Samuel L. Jackson monologuing in Deep Blue Sea. Even dumber than the entire script of Anna versus the Apocalypse. And if this guy, here we go, best cameo ever, wasted. If he does not introduce himself as Shooter, he does not. Great. for that reason, I downgraded from an SEG to a smile. I really didn't think I was going to like this. I really did not. I do like the fact that they brought back a lot of the original cast. I don't like the fact that we don't know who the mom is, or like when did this happen. I like the fact that they snuck Eddie Murphy's actual daughter into the film, which is ironic because Shaggy, you posted a thing into the chat about don't reach for the badge or whatever. Don't go in my pocket. Yeah, that was his daughter.
Oh, okay.
That was arrested him. She was one of the cops. But I'm also glad that they ignored the TV series where he had a son, apparently.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And the third movie for all intents and purposes. So, yeah, I only give it a smile. But I also read that I think they greenlit another movie based off of this and that they might actually do a theatrical release because it's been doing so well streaming-wise.
Okay, here's an interesting concept. What if the mother is Janie, the captain from the first movie's daughter? Or the second movie? The one who worked for the insurance company?
Bogomil's daughter?
Yeah, Bogomil's daughter.
I don't know if they could pull that one off.
I mean,
I'm not saying no, but
it's pretty meta, but
that's almost as meta as it being Penny Benjamin in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, and we may not be using meta correctly here.
Right. No, because we're not 20. So know.
Yeah.
No, we're acting sus about this.
Yeah.
What I will say, I would be interested in like a TV series with Axel's daughter and Joseph
Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character.
Yeah.
It's like a TV show about a lawyer who has training from her father of being able to shoot a gun and break into stuff.
I'm sure Judge Reinhold would appreciate, a guest spot on there every once in a while for some moves, for some money. I don't know what else he's doing. Some of these people, I'm sure they were just waiting for this movie to get made because they really could use a paycheck.
I need to see pictures of what he looks like normal to see. Did they decide to make him
to age him
a cop just because they looked at him and they said, "Okay, you're not a cop anymore. You're homeless." But
before this, the last thing he did was in 2017.
Yeah, so it's just like, okay, they're going to beat you up, and you're a private detective who's barely holding on. There you go.
John Ashton has had more roles than Judge Reinhold. He at least worked back in 2023. So,
but okay, so it sounds like how did Axel know what his was a truck
looked like?
Yeah, they get there. They go, "Oh, there's his car there." It's like, how do you know? You never. I'm sorry. I got it. He was supposed to be picked up at the airport.
Yeah.
So he must have like off scene told him what his vehicle looked like, so that when he got to the airport, he knew what to look for.
Yeah.
Right. There was no time within the movie for that to have happened, but there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Answered my own question.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. All right, so
but it was a good time. It's actually, I think, one of the better Eddie Murphy things I've seen in a long time. So
yeah, it was good.
Yes, until the Donkey movie comes out.
Yes,
I'm so over the Shrek movies.
It's a Shrek. I need to know what if Donkey and the dragon lived happily ever after.
Well,
That's the story I need.
they had babies in one of them, but I don't know which one. I stopped watching cartoons a while ago, so. All right.
Okay.
Random numbers.
Let's find out what movie
Right.
I'm leading on. Let's go.
And actually, I'm sorry. I'm actually up next because of the order on the column. So it's
Okay.
Okay.
I'm this week, and Colin, you are the next show. Now we may have to redo some of this because somehow Christmas movies got mixed in with this, and we do not do Christmas movies unless it's Christmas time,
Right.
unless we want to change that rule.
No.
But okay,
No.
so 1
We
to
didn't do
32.
Christmas movies at all last year because we decided to take the entire month off.
All right.
is
5. How about 5?
Number 5. Okay, it's fitting that I am. This is. Please still be available. Please still be. It's still available. All right. On Amazon Prime, Planet Dune.
Planet Dune.
Yes, this is a mission to rescue a marooned base on a desert planet turns deadly when the crew finds themselves hunted and attacked by the planet's apex predators, giant sandworms.
Okay. So it's
Starring Sean Young.
So it's not Dune, but it's
No.
Planet Dune. All right.
Correct. It's fitting because I'm pretty sure I put this on the sheet.
All right.
It's a Dune-ish spoof.
Okay.
Yes, after all of our talk about Naked Gun and whether any of those could be good or anything, we're gonna watch one this week.
We're gonna watch a cheap knockoff of a movie that's been redone at least twice. All right. Sounds good. Okie dokie, folks. Well, that will bring us to the end of the show for this evening. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. And don't forget to check us out on our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, for now, Instagram, all the fun stuff that you can find out there at PTR Radio. And our new website is now live, ptrradio.com. There is still work to be done on it, but you can check out everything on our new website. And please let us know what you want on there. But yes, our new website is absolutely live, so go to ptrradio.com and let us know what you think. So you can see all the episodes. I'm trying to do my best to keep it up to date, and it's much easier to subscribe by using all the stuff that's on there now. So, and with that, you can also leave us a video, an audio message, I think. So you can go to the contact, and at the bottom of it, there is a leave a audio message there. So if you want to leave us that, you can do that there too. So,
Dude, brokenness.
yes, I know there's a lot of brokenness, but it's better than nothingness, which is pretty much what we had before. But yeah, so it'll be getting updated though. I've done a lot of work this weekend, and so more time to dedicate on our website will be coming very shortly. So, all right, I don't have anything coming up. Thank goodness. I am getting freed up to do work on other things. So, other than that, I got nothing to say. Mike, Colin, anywhere you guys are going to be?
No.
All right. Well, that's always a good thing. So, folks, try and stay cool out there. Try and stay comfortable because it is a ridiculously hot summer everywhere in the country. And if you're in one of those cooler, countries, we hate you. And send some of that cold air up here. So, but wherever you are, just take it easy and try and be the voice of reason in this world of insanity. So with that said, I'm Shaggy.
I'm Colin.
Pithecanthropus.
Stick a fork in us, folks. We are done. Later.